All right, welcome back for our programming with the Wizards Lab. We are in the middle of working on our adventure game. So if y'all are just joining us, what we're doing is we're looking at our adventure map that we've all developed. So everyone develops their own map. Somewhere in this format, we're looking at a 10. Let's see, we start at 0, go to 9 with our two-dimensional array that we're going to be storing this into. So 0 x position and the 0 to 9 y position, and we're storing it in a two-dimensional array called map, with the x and the y being our dimensions. So with that, we've got the one that we're looking at. Should look familiar by now for our city gate, our road, our turn in the road, drop down to the farm, go across the field to the farmhouse, head on south. And I've gone ahead, I've filled in the other blanks where I'm not having roads with the black. So you're only seeing the blocks where we're going to go. That's what I want them to look like in a physical form. For those who have been keeping up so far, that comes from our map.csv file, where we're going to say in our x and y position are our two first fields in our CSV form. Then comes the title of what we want that block to be called, like you see here on the map, right there. Next is the description of the area. So we want something to say what it looks like. Besides, okay, city gate. Okay, they're standing at the main gate out of the city. There's a road that leads to the east. It kind of lets you know where to go. For that, then, are some different things of 1101. And what that is, if we look at that, it's going to tell us whether we can go to the north, to the south, to the east, or to the west from that block. A 1 means there's a wall there. You cannot go that way if we put a 1. So if you look, see 0, 0 on my map is our city gate. And we're at the edge of the world. I cannot go north, and I don't have anything to the south, so I can't go south. I can go east, but I cannot go west. So north, south, east, west. If 1 means I cannot go that way, I would have 1101. So when we look at the file, you see 1101 at the end. Once again, the CSV file is a comma-separated value, CSV, for doing data in a plain text file. Each line of the file is a different block on the map. And we're given the XY position where that should be. I don't have to give every block. In a 10 by 10 scenario, we would have 100 different blocks. You only have to put the ones where you're going to be going. Because if you set the blocks right, the walls, sorry, that's not the one we mean. Get back over here. If you put the walls in the right places, you'll never be able to get to the big black spots, the voids. But where nothing is down here at the bottom. You should not be able to reach that if there's walls here that keep you from getting there. Okay, we're going to... Now, so that's the map.csv file. We're taking that data and storing in, let's see which one, nope, a map block. So we're going to have another class, someplace to keep all the data from this file for each line. It's not just an integer, it's not just a string. We've got all this different data about that map block, and we need to store it all together. So we have made a class If I pull him up over here, we have our mapblock.java. So here's all the different things. Let me zoom in a little bit on that. Okay, there we go. We've zoomed in some so you can see what's going on. We'll start new right here. Okay, so our map block has our title, our description, north, south, east, west, and stuff we're going to add today. So we'll get you caught up on that part. This is our basic part we've been dealing with to get the map working. And since these are private data pieces, we have to allow the public to access them, but they can't get to them directly. So that's the way that public and private works. Making them private as part of the class, only other parts of this class can get to that data, unless we give them the outside world a way to get to it. And what we're going to do is we make these public functions, or methods, as they call them in Java, for getting and setting. So we can get the title. So the outside world asks for the title, and the class itself says, okay, here he is. Or if you want to set the title, let's change the title. We don't have direct access from the outside world. We have to say, please, Mr. MapBlock, please change your title to this. And so we tell him what the title we want to send in, and he sets his title to whatever we pass in. We do that because there might be other things happening with these pieces of data within the class that we don't want the outside world to mess with. We can come in here, we can do different alterations, different calculations, and there might be some data we don't want them to access directly. We're going to take care of stuff with that. Like, okay, I don't want you to see individual grades. I can give you the average or your final grade, but I don't want everyone to be able to get to the grades unless I give you permission to. So things like that. So that's why with all that, we have all these other functions to get and set those values. And that's done on the individual block by block setting. So once again, if I've got my map, go back to the map. If I want to change something with block 00, I tell him, block 00, please change your title to this. Block 10, is there a road to your north? Is there a road to your south? So I have to ask each block individually because he knows his data. So that's what we're setting up. So technically each one of these blocks on the map is actually an array, a two-dimensional array of map blocks. So if you've been missing that part, that's where we are. And this is how we do that. Once we've made a set of map blocks, then we can we make it the class of map block. Okay, now give me a two-dimensional array, 2 dimensions right there, that we're going to call it map. So our map is a set of map blocks, so many cells wide and so many cells deep. So what that way is our max X and max Y we have set up here near the top to be 10 each direction. That's what's giving us our 10 by 10 array here. Then. So we now have our map of that. So that catches you up kind of where we're doing with that part. Once again, that's coming from our map file and map.csv. Now, to remind you what we have done, we go down here to our init function. We're saying up at the start up here, after we've created our map file, well, and our map block array map, we're going to go read in. We have to initialize our game. We have to go get that data loaded in. So we're going to go to our map file, map.csv, now pass them in here, and the map, And we're going to go let him take the data from the map file and put into the map. So we go down to init. We'll find him here. So this is the one we're passing in the name of the file and the map. This is the two-dimensional array of map. We start off by saying we're going to read a CSV file. Once again, CSV meaning comma separated value, that we're going to use that comma to separate our different things. The line is what we're going to read in from the file and break apart later. To access the file, once again, we're using the file reader. It says, okay, open this file, map file. The buffered reader puts some extra stuff around that to get the data in a smooth fashion for us. And so we do the buffered reader based off of the file reader there. So once all those are established, we read a line from the buffered reader. And as long as that's not null, we're going to keep doing this loop here. Keep doing this until the file reader reads a line that is null. That means it's the end of the file. That's where you get a null for, special character for that. So now, we get one line of data right here. This gets the line of data. We take that and we say, take that line and split it up by whatever we said split by was, the comma. It's a comma separated value. We're going to actually now separate that line, which is one big string, into little pieces. So it takes it, breaks it into individual strings and another array called data. So if we have 8 different pieces between our commas, it's going to be split into 8 different parts. Being an array, those parts, 8 of them, are numbered from 0 to 7. So you always, once again, your array always starts with element number 0 to get to it. So the first positions, we're saying X position, Y position. That's what we're going to read them into. So data 0 and data 1 need to go into X position, Y position. So you look at our CSV file. Our parts up here, 0, 0. And then CD gate and the other parts. So we want the first two being our X position, Y position for that block of data for that line. We take that and we're going to parse an integer off of it. So what was data? It's a string. Data sub 0 is a string. Actually, data is an array of strings. So the first piece of data, at data 0, that is still a string. So we can't put that straight into an integer for POS. So there's a special function. Say, okay, integer type. I need you to go run a special function called parseInt to look at this string, go into that string, and get an integer out of it. And if it's not an integer, it's going to give us a problem. You'll see that with a big crash with some red stuff on the screen. We call that the stack trace with the error. So we don't want to see that. So integer, we'll parse an integer out of that string. Store it into X position. Same thing for the second one with the data sub 1 being the second element, and we go into Y position. So now we are ready to say, okay, go back to the map. Remember, our map is two-dimensional array. So we're going to say, now, at X position, Y position, whichever one we just read in from the file. Our first one is 0, 0, if you look back at our map file. Go create a new map block at that location. So while we've got the array set up, so we're going to go actually create a guy ready for data. And we get this guy ready for data. And so, okay, now, for that, Mr. Map Block at X, Y, let's set that title. That's where we have to call upon him to go do the work. Whatever is in data sub 2. So this would be the third element in that file of that line it just read from the file. So reading it up here, you'll see CD gate is what it should read in, because there's the first comma, the second comma, so this is your third piece of data here at CD gate. And stick him into the title. So set the title to this. Same with the description. Our next element is the description. The next four, data 4, 5, 6, and 7, are bytes. So if you look at what we described, how we made our map block, we've got our title, our description, and then byte, 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 north, south, east, west. We're always going to do things in that order, north, south, east, west. That's how we're normally saying our compass positions. Now while we go around the compass, we say it's north, east, south, west. But no one ever really says that way when they're naming their compass thing. So north, south, east, west. So that's what we're going to do with it. Right. Let's go. As we read those in, we have the same issue that we had up here with our X position, Y position. We cannot take a string and store it into a byte. So we have the same kind of function for a byte that we had for our integers before. So before we can set north to be whatever was in data 4, we've got to convert data 4 into a byte. So we say, Mr. Byte class, go in here, parse me a byte out of data 4. Take that byte you get out, pass it to this map block's function of set north. And so that happens with our south, east, and west as well. And we loop through that until we read that entire file. With that, our map is ready. And with what we have previously programmed, we come back up here and we prompt the user, telling him where we are. Because right now we are starting our map. We said our position is at 0, 0. I said X start and Y start are 0, 0, and I started our overall X position, Y position for the game, for the player of the game, is at wherever we told it to start, 0, 0. And I'm saying this is my starting position because your map may be different. You may be starting at 6, 4 or at 9, 5. And if that's the case, you would set your starts differently right here for now. As we develop this, we're going to make that part of it the configuration file, because what we're creating here is the game engine that can play with anybody else's CSV files. So that's the part that's going to change in later as we add other characters, as where do you start based on your CSV file. For now, we're just going to hard code it right here, change it later. Once again, we're tackling this one bit at a time. We're doing that elephant, eating that elephant one bite at a time. So we'll gnaw on that bone later. That's just what to do now. Okay, so our game right now consists of showing you what the thing is, get your input, what command you want to do, and we've got a while loop going that as long as you don't choose X to exit, or one of the other classes I may have used a Q for quit, different things, we're going to standardize that later. Right now, looking at this, because hint, this is going to change as well. So right now we're saying while your choice does not equal X, look and see what else we can do. We can go east, we can go west, we can go north, we can go south. And with that, we're waiting for the user. You'll see how we set it up. East, east. What might the user enter? We haven't actually told them what they can do and what they can't do yet. So we gave them different options because the way a case works, we can stack them So in any of these cases, do this code. And that is, what do we do? So we say if, okay, Mr. Map Position, wherever we currently are, so we start at 0, 0. So if is there a wall to your east? And what he does with that, in the map block, this is where I say, just accessing the get north, get south, get east, get west isn't going to do any good in the program. We're actually going to keep that for ourselves and wrap it up in a function called isWall. So in essence, we can actually take out all this get north, get south stuff. Now we need the set because initialize is using it. But the getting, we should never have the public doing the getting. We're going to give them the function isWall. And that's asking a question, is there a wall to whichever direction you're wanting to go? So that's our options. I'll put a little comment in here. So a single character, not a string, a single character of north, south, east, or west. And at first we're going to say, yes, there's a wall that way. One of my other classes, I actually reversed this to show that you can do it either way. So either you set the answer to true or false to start with. In this case, we're taking the path of saying true, meaning there is a wall. And then we look at the direction. Which direction? Did they say north, south, east, or west? And then with that, we look to say, okay, if n is set to 0, that means there is no wall. So we're going to override what we said earlier. So in this case, the answer is not true. The answer will be false because there is not a wall to the north. And on the documents, they said go east. We're going to say, well, was E 0? If E is 0, then no, there's not a wall that way, and then we'll get out. You can just as easily say, set the answer to false, and see if n equals 1. If it is, then we can change the answer to true. And so that way, we have one function. We didn't have to have a wall. Is there a wall to the north? Is there a wall to the south? Is there a wall to east? Different functions. We created one function saying which direction, and it looks at that to access the different things. So only one of these will get run per time you ask. So back here in our big switch statement of our movement in the game, we're looking at, if they say east, we're going to check, is there a wall to the east? If there is, we're going to tell them, there's a wall there, you can't go there. Or they say go west. If it comes up that there's a wall, sorry, we can't go that way. North, south, same way. See, it's the same function we're calling for all the different cases, just passing in a different value depending on which direction we're looking at going. If there is not a wall that direction, then we actually do our changing. We actually move, so if we say go east, we add one to our X position, such that next time we do a map, we're looking at a different element in our two-dimensional array. We moved to 1, 0 the next time if we went east. If we're somewhere going west, and we're looking through our map file, where are you? He's not wanting to bring up my stuff. Start that way. Ha! I'll teach you, computer. So, if we started off here at the city gate, and we said go east, and there's not a wall here, so we can go east, and we wind up at our road, over here. Then we've increased our X position, and we've moved from 0, 0 to, now X is 1, Y is still 0. So we're here. As long as you go east, from here I can go east again because there should not be a wall. But if I try to go east again from 2, 0, this is what I plan on happening. Let's look at my map.csv. If I'm at 2, 0 and I want to go east and over, his number says there it is, 1, 0, 1, 0. North, south, east, west. So north and east have walls. South and west do not have walls. So let's go back and look at my picture here. So turn in the road. So east should not have, well, west does not have a wall. South does not have a wall. North would go into the void, and east we would go into the void. So those two actually have the walls. So we've done properly. And how do we test that? Yeah, let's come in here. What happens when I run him? Okay, I'm at my city gate. Ignore these parts right now. We'll get to that part later. So we're at the city gate. We're standing on the main gate out of the city. There's a road that leads to the east. Alright. With that, my command, I can hit east. I'm at the road. Get on down the road, east or west. That should be the data that was for road. So we moved, we're now at 1, 0, road. Get on down the road, east or west, 1, 1, 0, 0. North, south, east, west. So we should be able to go east or west from this location, but not north or south. So we will test that. Console, there we are. So I can go east again, turn in the road. I can go west, road. North. There's a wall there, dude. Try again. Road. So I'm still at the road. It did not move me. There we are. Now I'll try to go south. There's a wall there, dude. Try again. Road. Get on down the road. East or west. No, I want to go south. I want to go south. East or west. Alright. I give up. Go east. Turn in the road. There we are. So we pull back up our map. We're now at the turn in the road right here. Turn in the road right here. If I go south, should be a farm. South again should be the old mill. South, farm. South, the old windmill. I think the map is working. So once again, that gets us to where we need for the map. And walking through the map, our walls of the map. Our next video, we will look at adding items to the map. It's kind of a boring map right now. And let's see some other stuff here. Let's see. Alright, we had our old windmill. Let's see, I'm going to do some magic here for the moment. Hey, now you can see more of the screen. Okay. So we're at the old windmill. We'll go back north. I'm at the farm. Let's see if I can also at the same time pull up something else for us right here. And I want to take you over here. Arrange my screen a little bit better so we can make sure what's going on. Okay, close enough for now. But now my head's in the way again. Let's try something else here. Hello. So now, let's see if I'm over here. And, alright. Yay! Okay, we're at the farm. So if you look up, oh, up there. I can't reach it anymore. I shrunk. It's too high for me. So there's the farm. I can go east from the farm. Now I'm in the field. Go east from the field. I'm at the farmhouse. West, west. I'm back where I was at the farm. Go south, old mill. West, roadside stand. South, it's the lonely road. You've entered the lonely stretch of road. Alright, we're back. Okay, so we were at the lonely road. Right here. So getting used to this. I'm not quite a weatherman yet. We're still working on where am I now, especially since I moved myself on the screen. So we've got the lonely road right here. I can go south. It says you've entered a lonely stretch of road, nothing to see here. Move along north or south. So I'm going to go south. More lonely road. Nothing to see but a turn. We can go north or east. Well, we've already been north, so that's going east. More lonely road. East or west. Let's go east again. Just lonely road again. It's lonely on both ends, and even more lonely in the middle. You've entered a lonely stretch of road, nothing here to see. Move along east or west. You can tell I was getting kind of bored when I wrote this one. At that point, I just got to write something. I wasn't in a creative mood at that moment. Just more of the same. Okay, make blocks, make blocks. We can make it more interesting later if we want. Okay, only stretch of road, nothing here to see. Move along. Alright, so I can go to the east. It's the dusty road now. The path is pretty well worn and dusty. The neglected walls are starting to deteriorate, especially to the northern wall. The path continues east and west. Well, if I didn't have my map sitting up here, or sitting at the dusty road, I would have to just take a clue from what it's talking about over here with the neglected walls starting to crumble, especially to the north. Hey, guess what? There's something to the north of the dusty road. So if I go to the north, you found a nice secret stash spot used by local bandits. The wall opens to the south. Now, the plan is, later on, we will add something in this little secret stash. Maybe like a little bag of gold. That the bandits have been storing up stuff. We found their stash. We're going to take their gold, and eventually, the goal of the game is to find the gold and get back to the city gate without getting killed. Well, what does that sound like, too? Getting killed? Right now, we're just wandering the map. We're about to add items, such as the bag of gold. What else? Oh, well, we start adding stuff like daggers. Well, I'm more than just have a dagger to walk around with, isn't it? Unless I'm going to use it to dig up in the dirt. Well, what if we add some other people? And then we can do some combat with those people. So that's where we're going to go with this. You can do anything you want. That's how we're going to create our game engine to take all those things in. But yet, we've got the place here. We're still stuck up here in the hollow hideaway. Go back south. We're back to the dusty road. We have not explored to the east yet, so let's go east. We have our grassy path. The path is not as much worn here. Nice soft vegetation grows under your feet. The greenery spreads to the east, but fades to the west. What was that? Green spreads to the east. So grassy path. So we go to the east. It's now a whole forest path. We got more vegetation now, right? So there's a rift in the forest thicket blocked by a grumpy old wizard. You shall not pass. Go back west. Now. Ominous? Sounds like a good place to place a character in the future, such as a grumpy old wizard. And since he's guarding it and we shall not pass, guess what? That's also the end of our map. We don't have any place else to go there. So you've seen my map, my descriptions, and how we move around it. And so next time, we will be working on adding the items. Doing more of the same in a little bit different way. See you then.